So you want to know when the best time to short a stock is. What's the best point to enter a short? So everyone has their own theory about the best time to short, the best time to enter a stock, long, short, whatever it is. Everybody has their own kind of theory on it. But my theory is that I like to short a stock that has bad news, that's already crashed down, that is in a very bearish trend. Bad news. I'm not just going to short a stock that's up real big because it's up really big and I'm like, well, it's up 100%, so it's got to crash at some point here. I'm going to short a stock that's crashing down already, has bad news, and does not look good. I like to use a little bit of common sense as well. A stock like Kroger, I know that retail is hurting. I know the market overall and the retail is not good. The CEO comes out, they say they're cutting the guidance. Something is not good in this stock. Looking at Kroger, I shorted this one last Thursday, pre-market actually, shorted it pre-market. Normally I don't really trade pre-market, but it looked too good to not short. I entered this short on Kroger watching this. This is the 5-minute chart. It drops down from $30 in the morning, jumps all the way down here, $27.80. So you can see here on the 5-minute chart, pulls down here, kind of finds a bottom, has a top here at $27.86 and then $27.80. And I'm like, well, it might reverse here. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to get in. I could have entered here on the first 5-minute candle to make a new low, which would have been about $27.50 area. But again, I was like, okay, maybe it wants to crash. I don't really know what's going on there. But this was kind of the best entry for me, at least that I thought. So after it had that pullback again, it kind of crashes down. Really doesn't have a lot of range there, 60-cent range there. Not a lot going on. A little bit of selling. And then see on this candle, you get a lot of buying here, but really doesn't move anywhere. So I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. And then on this candle, it's a very clear that there's a lot of selling. It doesn't really want to move. Not a lot of volume. So I'm like, okay, the top on this candle is at the 27.60 area. And then bam, the high on this candle is 27.60. So I'm kind of watching that 27.60 area to get in and ended up getting in there at the 27, I think 58. So for me, I saw that 27.60 area, double top right there. So I'm like, that's a good sign. So I ended up going short there at 27.58 and then bam, it pulls all the way down here to $26. So I actually got some support there at 26. It was a good time for me to end up covering because, like I said, get that double bottom at the 25.99, 26 area. So I'm like, okay, that's a good time to cover. Got some support there. 26 is support. So I ended up shorting, like I said, at 27.58, covering down here at $26 area. Great short there on Kroger's. Gives you an idea of why I shorted when I did. It had bad news. It's crashing down. There's a lot of selling going on. You can see it had a double top there, a lot of resistance, a lot of selling on this candle. So I'm like, okay, if it can't get above 27.60 again, it's an obvious double top there. Bad. It's not going higher. And again, you get a lot of selling again, crashing down. Next candle crashes down to 26.89. So really nice move there, jumping from 27.50 down to 26.89 there. So after that, I'm in the clear. Where is my stop going to be? So if I enter this short here at 27.60, let's say it pulls back a little bit and then it starts to go higher. So then I see this double top here, which is at the 27.84 area. So that's kind of my area that I would have covered for a loss. So I'm kind of watching that 27.80 area, 30 cents. So if I got in at 27.50, I'm going to look to cover around the 27.86 if it can get above this double top area. And that's kind of my risk reward. So I'm looking to get in there at the 27.50 area. I know there's some support there at 27, so I might cover at 27. So I'm kind of risking 30 cents to make 50 cents. I have a good feeling that this wants to go even lower because a lot of selling going on. So once this broke through that $27 area, I knew this wanted to go lower. It was game on, time to take profit as it's crashing down. And that's kind of the opportunity to get in. A lot of people say that it's better to short at the top, but a lot of times you just can't short at the top and you have to look for opportunity as the stock is crashing. This is, for me, a safer bet because the stock's got bad news. It's crashing. It's not looking good. A lot of people are just looking to sell. They're looking to get out, and that's kind of not a good sign. And you can see here it actually worked out amazingly if I would have held this one for a little bit longer, that it crashed even further down. At open, it only got up to 27.23, so I was safe there. I was still good. And it kept pulling back. 27.22, it pulls down here to $26 again. So it had the support at the $26 area, but never reached my entry again. So I really could have held this for a while if I wanted to, but I took profit early, like always, just because I want to take my profit. And you can see it never got back up to that high. So if I got in there at 27.60 and let's say I loaded the boat up, I loaded up with shorts there at 27.60 and I played it safe. And it got back up to 27.80 area, at open. I'm like, okay, I'm going to cover because it might want to reverse, but it never did. And it ended up crashing at the end of that day Yeah, 24.30 area. So amazing short, even more amazing the next morning. Kroger got down to $20. So possible $7 move there. You get in short 1,000, 2,000 shares, you make $7,000, $14,000 on a short like this. How I like to short, kind of my entry, I like to look for stocks with bad news, look for resistance, look for stocks that are possibly trying to reverse. I'm not trying to just buy the bottom. I'm trying to look for stocks that are reversing. It got down to $27. It bounced off $27. That's kind of my favorite entry, kind of my favorite short, looking for stocks that are crashing down, stocks that have bad news, stocks that have resistance on the bounce. So everyone has their own theory. Everybody has their own kind of idea. So everything that I say, take it with a grain of salt. You know, you kind of figure out over time what works best for you. But this is what works best for me. I like to short stocks that are crashing down. I like to short them on the bounce once I kind of see that they're going to go lower. And when you get a double top, when a stock doesn't want to go higher than the previous 5-minute candle, that's obvious resistance there. Is obvious something going on. Somebody's selling, and the stock is probably going to head lower there from that sign. So if this candle would have went higher, if I would have seen this 5-minute candle jump up here to 27.80 area, I might have shorted because they're like, okay, there's a resistance at 27.80. But if it breaks through 27.80, I'm not going to short it. I'm not going to be like, well, it's running up, but it's an obvious downtrend, because that could be the point that it starts to bounce back. It could be the point that it starts to turn around and start to go higher. So really got to be careful when you're shorting. The downside on shorting is that the risk really is limitless. Say if you go short here on Kroger, then all of a sudden Amazon comes out and wants to buy it at $50. You're stuck and you got to sell at $50 and cover there. It's not a good play. So you really got to be careful, take profits fast, and that's kind of how I short stocks, looking for these stocks that have bad news and kind of just big sell-offs. When they show weakness and they show resistance ahead, and kind of looking for those little areas of support resistance areas to get in that I know that my kind of stop loss area is close by, and get an idea of when I might exit. I'm not just trying to jump in here on the first drop, or I'm not just trying to jump in as a stock is just crashing really with no idea or game plan. So it's all about entering the trade with a game plan, kind of ahead of time, knowing what you're going to do when the stock starts to reverse. If it starts to reverse, I'm in at 27.50. I know that 27.80 is going to be kind of my stop loss, and that gives me an idea ahead of time. So I'm not going to just jump in here and be like, oh shit, it's reversing. What do? I don't really know when I should cover because I don't have an idea. I don't have a game plan. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel.